Hey, the Boston Celtics were supposed to be a team of dynasty, but in the last 2 days, they've made shocking trades. Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, two-time champion, both on the move in absolutely shocking fashion. Remember, they're already dealing with Jason Tatum's injuries. So now, what in the world is going on with Boston? Enter one of the most brilliant minds in all of the sport. That is Rick Bucher. Y'all are familiar with him, clear friend and relative at this point of the show. Rick, the question, man, is simple. Like, when I thought about the Celtics last year, literally a year from this very day, I was asking you, are the Celtics a dynasty?
Yeah.
And now a year later, I have to ask you, is the Celtics championship window closed? Because they've now moved on from Kristaps Porzingis, literally one of the most rare players in the NBA, and Drew Holiday, I would say one of the best leaders in all of the NBA, especially when you talk about being a floor general and a point guard. Utterly shocking the moves they're making. I understand it's for salary cap reasons and tax implications, but would you suggest the Celtics championship window is closed?
When we originally talked about this, my thought was, no. They still have the core. It's just on hiatus. We don't expect it next year because Jason Tatum's not going to be there. But the more I've thought about it, yes, that window is closed on this iteration of the Boston Celtics. Because, to your point, Kristaps Porzingis literally called him the unicorn. Absolutely unique player. Drew Holiday, I would say the same. Champion coming from Milwaukee, unique defensive point guard, one of the best in the league, even in his 30s. Those two, were they not the final pieces of their championship puzzle?
They were.
And now they are gone. And the idea that you can just replace them with Anthony Simons or take your pick, I don't believe is realistic. And I've thought this for a while in terms of when we were talking about the Boston Celtics as a dynasty. Yes, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are still mid-20s, still very much in their prime, but they've been to the mountain and not gotten to the summit multiple times already. And you just don't have stretches where you're a contender, a title contender for 10, 12, 14 years, especially with the salary cap rules as they are today. And then I add in the young teams that are coming in the Eastern Conference. And when I put all that together, can they get back there? Sure, because you still do have a Jason Tatum, and I fully expect that he's going to come back and be Jason Tatum. And you still have Jaylen Brown. You still have some very nice pieces. Brad Stevens as GM, tremendous. But you're going to have to build this thing again, essentially. From the studs up, which is why I'm now of the mind, for the foreseeable future, the Boston Celtics championship window is closed.
I hate that you're right. I hate that you're right. The Celtics are a team that I love in large part because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I'm just a big fan of not only how they've stuck together through all the turmoil, but also the way they play the game. But the window is closed right now because it was open for so long. We only view the window as maybe being open the last 3 years, 2022 to 2025, because that's when they finally went to the championship. But make no mistake about it, this window opened in 2018. Because in 18, they went to the conference semis. And then in 19, they went to the conference finals. And then in 20, they went to the playoffs again, lost in the first round. Then now you get to that 21-22 season, they lost in the finals. And then they lost in the conference finals. And then they lost in the NBA, and then they won the NBA title, and then they lost in the conference semis. Their window has been open for over half a decade. Mind you, I excluded years before that when Kyrie Irving was on the team. So this is not a team who just had a small window. A 7-year window in any pro sports, it's as long as you can fathom.
Massive.
Like Slick said, it is a massive window. So for their window to be closed on the 8th year actually makes a lot of sense. It's actually very fair. It actually is incredibly practical. Can they open the window again with a different iteration of the team in years to come? Sure. But Drew Holiday is what ultimately got them over the edge. Kristaps Porzingis, he played to some degree, but remember, in the NBA Finals, it's not as if he was a major contributor. He missed several games last year anyway. So I think, Jay, this window is closed, and they might have to find a new iteration.
Yeah, it's closed. They're going to have to find a new entrance to get in. I know I've been through a lot of windows. The door has been locked, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to have to find a new way in because it's closed. And the main reason why I say it's closed is because I've seen them healthy with this roster be down 0-2 with the Knicks. So you have Eastern Conference teams that are playing well, that are going to have something to say. And that is why we say up here, when you have a chance to win a
have to win it.
championship, you have to win it because you do not know what the next year is going to look like. Jason Tatum ain't going to be there next year. They're not going next year. So the window's definitely closed for next year. Who knows if the team is going to be the same when Jason Tatum comes back. So the window probably going to be closed his next year after injury. So this is 2 to 3 years that the window is shut. So right now for the Boston Celtics, man, I got to sit up here and say the window is absolutely closed and locked right now for at least the next 3 years because this team is going to look different. It's going to be a lot of moving parts. I don't know how Simmons and all these boys is going to fit in, especially with Jason Tatum being out. You know, who knows if somebody else may get hurt or something. That's why when you have a chance to win it, you have to win. Right now for the Boston Celtics, they should have 2 or 3 championships, not just one. And they let that go. So,
Rick, is it fair to say, in actuality, like the Celtics, this core thus far has underachieved? You won a title, I get that. But there's no reason the Miami Heat should have gone to a title or 2 on your watch. Not those Miami Heat teams. There's no reason those Miami Heat teams should have beat you with Jimmy Butler and several other no-names. Shout out to Bam Adebayo and Hero. There's no reason they should have gone on your watch. There's no reason, and really to a high degree, it's unacceptable that Warriors team beat you.
Yeah.
If a 16, 17, 18, or 19 Warriors team beat you with Kevin Durant, so be it. But that 2022 Warriors team, that team should not have beat you. Not with JT and JB in their prime. Yeah. That team should not have beat you. Is it fair to suggest if we only get one title, and I say only, we know how hard it is to win a title. James has one on this desk. If this core only gets one title, did they underachieve?
My immediate response was, no, that's not underachieving. They got a ring. But then when you laid it out, I'm like, whoo, maybe. I'm still going to say no. I always thought that losing that 2022 title to the Golden State Warriors was a bite of the apple that they missed out on, that they were going to regret more than anything else. I think that was their key opportunity. There have been a lot of other moving parts here in terms of putting together the championship puzzle. I don't think they underachieved as much as I feel we may have overhyped Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum as a core, because I've always struggled with them sort of being the same player in different ways, playing the side. I've never considered them the ideal nucleus to a team, which is why I think that they had to find so many different puzzle pieces to figure out what the dynamic is around them. Both extremely talented, but both wings have their strengths and weaknesses. But generally, when you're building a championship core, you want a big, you want a backline guy, and you want a guard or a wing. You want that inside-outside presence. You want the Draymond Green, Steph Curry. You want the Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. That is more the blueprint.
But when you're as talented as JB and JT, like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, though Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, that trio of D. Wade and LeBron, you could have suggested there's a lot of overlap, there's a lot of similarities, albeit LeBron could run point or LeBron could play the 4. But when you have somebody as talented as JT, 6'8", with the jumper, can bring the ball up the court, has post moves, can stroke you from 3. When you have somebody that talented, and then you have somebody like Jaylen Brown who can lock you up defensively, also 6'6", great two-way player, great mid-range game, and then you add a Al Horford and a Derek White, should you not be able to win at least 2, maybe 3 chips?
Yeah, it's underachieved. It's underachieved. There ain't no way around it. I tell people all the time, our Green Bay Packers teams, we underachieved. We should have 2 or 3 championships right now. And the main reason we underachieved, we lost to teams that was not better than us. Yeah. If we lose to the 16-0 Patriots and we was good, they was better than us.
Yeah.
But we lost to the Giants team that was in the wild card at our crib twice. And we were the better team with the baddest man in the planet at the time, with really talented rosters. With the Boston Celtics, they have missed out on opportunities, and it ain't because they wasn't a better team. It's because they didn't play the best. They should have at least 2 to 3 championship rings right now, and at least 3 to 4 appearances if they don't lay eggs in the playoffs or the finals. So for me, with these 2 and their teams they had, it absolutely is an underachievement.
So why did you lose? Why did you not win more championships?
We did not play our best football when our best football was needed. We played the Giants at home. We was 15-1, and we all decided at the same time, hey, you ready to play your worst? I'm ready to play my worst. We all decided at the same time. I think it was a game to where, like, John Kuhn fumbled, and they came out with a stat. John Kuhn never fumbled a snap in his career. Ryan Grant fumbled. Donald Driver, things that we did not do, we did in those games, and we all did it at the same time. And the mistakes cost us, man, and we sit here today with one championship and at least could have been to 3 to 4 Super Bowls under Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I think the Miami Heat team, though, underscores what I'm saying about the duplication. Because without Chris Bosh changing his game and being in that mix, I don't know that they win a championship. I don't know if it's Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, if they win 2 titles. And then, even then, the first year it wasn't good enough. You had to go get a Miller. You had to go get some shooting, those additional pieces on the outside, because it wasn't that perfect nucleus.
It's going to be interesting to see what in the world the Celtics can do, because right now the Thunder look like they're trying to become a dynasty. Caitlin Clark had a night to forget. More turnovers than points last night. But think about it. Over the last 3 games combined, she has 22 turnovers and just 12 points per game. You're talking about an absolute sensation, a freaking star of the nation currently. But Caitlin Clark, first 6 games, you see 21 points per game, but now down to 12. 45 field goal percentage. That's what that was. Now it's down to 27. And her 3-point percentage, well, don't even look there. Just cover your eyes. How do you go from 40% to 4%? Many people would suggest after that scuffle that occurred, Caitlin Clark's performances have dropped off not just a cliff, but they fell from the solar system to below Earth. James, let me start with you, because you suggested you signed up for WNBA League Pass this year.
I got my League Pass. I be watching them on Rewind and everything.
You looking for a refund at this point?
Yeah, I rewind and everything. Let me see that pass again. Yeah.
So with that being said, Caitlin, remember, she got into a gigantic scuffle 3 games ago, and she hasn't bounced back since. Is it time to worry about Caitlin Clark?
Oh, man. I wouldn't say it's time to worry, because Caitlin Clark's a superstar, and I think she'll bounce back. But I will say, from watching these last 3 games, especially after the fight, I think it's starting to take a toll on her. I think how people compete against her is starting to take a toll on her. All the pressure on her is starting to take a toll on her, because when you watch Caitlin Clark play the game of basketball, it is fiery. It's a bunch of energy, whether she's missing shots or not. She is going to compete at a high level. You could say she flopped. You could say she talked. You could say whatever. When she's on the court, she's going to compete. She's going to talk junk, and she's going to be with a lot of fire, and she is going to ball and make everybody around her better. These last couple games that I've been watching Caitlin Clark, I have not seen that fire. I have not seen that energy. To be honest with you, Acho, Slick, TJ, she playing like it's like F everybody in the WNBA. Y'all don't appreciate what I'm bringing to the game. I'm done trying to help y'all. That's how it looked. You know, we all have been in situations like, oh, you want to listen to me? I'm done trying to help you. You know, ask somebody else. That's how she's playing the game right now, in my humble opinion, these last 3 games. I do not see that. You know, the body language, she just looked like she tired, she drained. No, I don't really see none of the competitive fire. Now, this last game, I will say, it was a little better. I give credit to the Storm's defense, because they did a good job. She had to take some tough threes, some hard shots. They did a good job. But the other games against the Aces and the Valkyries, I just didn't see the energy, the effort. I didn't see the Caitlin Clark that we used to see.
Rick, you got a daughter that plays college basketball right now, so I know you're very in tune to the game. You went to a game just 2 weeks ago, a Valkyries game, so you know about women's basketball better than most people on national television. Is it time to worry about Caitlin Clark?
I'm not going to worry about her, because I saw her start slow last year, and the fever starts slow. And to James's point, being a superstar player, you figure it out. You get more attention. We've seen it with every great player. And coming in a second year especially, now we've got tape on you. Now we know what you like. And look, they are going to extra measures. She also has a brand new team around her. So she's trying to adapt to the different pieces around her. What I've been impressed by, actually, is her passing is at a higher level than I ever thought. I multiple times watching her play, she reminds me of your guy, Aaron Rodgers, where she throws people open by where she puts the ball.
It is special.
She creates a basket for them. Now, The turnovers are a concern. Maybe more than anything, because she's getting face guarded. So the shots are few and far between. I haven't seen her force shots for the most part, which I think is good. It's defensively.
Yeah,
They are putting her in every pick and roll, and they are wearing her out, and you can see it. And the best players, when you're getting dragged defensively, it's hard for you to maintain your confidence and your approach offensively. And that's what she's going through. So do I see, like, is this just a blip on the radar? No, like, this is something that may take a little bit of time for her to work out. But overall, am I concerned that she's not going to be the Caitlin Clark that we expect her to be? No, I imagine she'll get there. I just don't know when.
That's a great point. I'm not worried about it because I've seen growth. To your point, last year, Caitlin Clark had no rest after the college season into the pro season. Then finally, after she got that break during All-Star Weekend, she came back with a vengeance. So I'm not worried about it because I do believe she'll figure it out. But the dilemma for me is eventually I think she's going to have to get a little bit physically tougher and mentally tougher. I think both of those things are going to happen. She's young. She's a young pro athlete. But eventually she's going to have to learn how to stand up for herself until they create a team that might stand up for her. And then physically, can she endure the beating that she's taking every single game?
Yeah.
Because like James said, and like y'all know when y'all watch it, she's getting picked up the entire length of the court. They're going over the top of screens. They're not going around them. Sometimes they're trapping her. Sometimes they're blitzing her. I mean, Caitlin Clark is seeing a level of defense that you don't see until the NBA Finals Game 7 if you are a star player. I mean, she's seeing a level of defense that you just don't see commonly. Now, what I do like, and Slick, you said it, but I want to highlight it for the viewers, there was one play where I said, even if Caitlin can't score, so long as she can do this, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Inbounds pass after a quick bucket, and like Slick said, this is throwing somebody open. That's such a pinpoint pass that got Aaliyah Boston the easiest 2 points that she can get. If that's too far ahead, it's going out of bounds. If it's too far behind, it's a turnover. But because of the accuracy of that dime, that's an easy 2 points. Even if Caitlin's not scoring, as long as she can keep doing that. And shout out also to her teammate Aaliyah Boston because she's gotten a lot better.
Yep.
Aaliyah Boston's gotten in better shape. Aaliyah Boston's hands are better. Her quickness is better. She's lighter on her feet. Her hand-eye coordination and her body control are all better. So while we take a lot of time to shout out Caitlin Clark, shout out Aaliyah Boston as well, because last year she looked out of shape, she looked heavy-footed, she looked slow, she looked lethargic, and this year she's completely turned that around, and she's been balling. So she's helped elevate Caitlin's game as a true point guard, dropping dimes, T.
I'm not worried about anything. Greatness is always going to be great. A little blip in the road, a little speed bump. 1 for 23 three-point field goals the last 3 games. Her next game, she probably going to go for 30. But at some point, you got to make an example of somebody. Y'all want to play me like I'm running straight through you, I'm going to take this charge. And I'm going to make an example out of you. Okay, y'all want to play me like this, I'm going to take this offensive foul, I'm putting my shoulder in your chest. You either going to move out the way or you're going to take this. You got to start giving them what they giving you. And the coach, if they're putting her in pick and rolls and they're making it harder on her defensively, coach, make an adjustment. She's your scorer. Make sure we can make adjustments so she's not in those situations. We're going to zone up this next couple series. You have to do things to counteract what they're doing.
Great point.
Caitlin Clark, literally, when were we talking about women's basketball, the WNBA? She's brought so much to the game. And it's not just her. Yeah. It's the Angel Reeses of the world. It's the entirety of the WNBA. But because she'll make a three, she'll kind of just look at you. We weren't seeing that. We weren't seeing women pulling up like Steph Curry. And then she leads Iowa to a national championship, and you like, this girl really good. Oh, she ain't gonna do this in the WNBA. She came in as a rookie last year, and she did it. So now it's like, okay, we're gonna see if she really like that.
Yeah. I want to revisit one point T made because sometimes you got to act out a character to set other people's character straight.
Yeah.
Right? Like T's bringing this up, and it reminded me of a story. It was my senior year in college. I'm not a fighter. I gain nothing by fighting you. If I fight you and I win, what do I win? But Will Muschamp, he coached the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins under Nick Saban, the years that Saban coached the Dolphins. And Will Muschamp's a true story. He told me a story about how Zach Thomas, linebacker, I think he might be in the Hall of Fame. If not, he should be. How Zach Thomas, a beast of a linebacker, an undersized linebacker, was a 13-year vet at the time. True story. And during training camp, this rookie was holding Zach Thomas. And Zach Thomas being held, he's about 5'10", 240. He just starts swinging and fighting on the rookie. Muschamp walking back to the locker room after practice at training camp that day goes, Zach, Zach, why you fight that kid? He's a rookie, might not even make the team year of age. He said, I fought him because he held me. And I want him to know every time he holds me, he might have to fight me. And he's not going to want to fight me every time.
Straight up.
So going into my senior year, very first day of training camp, so very first day, again, I'm not a fighter. I'm on a blitz, 8-gap blitz, maybe Will, me, 6, whatever. Cover 6, Will, I'm the Will linebacker, me, you going. I just blitz. I go to the ground, I get held. Bomb, bomb, bomb,
Hey, Mike
bomb,
Tyson.
bomb, melee,
Yeah.
whole melee. Coach, Acho, why you fight him? I had to make sure he knew every time he holds me, he gonna want to fight me. And he's not gonna want to fight me every time.
Yeah.
If somebody does something to Caitlin one time,
Run through them.
they're not going to want that every time.
That's well said. Y'all sound like y'all play football. That's well said. But no, even listening to y'all talk, I mean, she has to. I mean, listening to him say that, I instantly thought of Kobe in the Olympics when he told Bron and D. Wade, I'm about to run through Paul's chest. And he did that to set the tone. Off the bus, it's a person there for Caitlin Clark.
There
and
is.
It's been like that for
face
2
guard,
years.
no doubt.
The way they play in Caitlin Clark, I've never seen them play anybody like that in the men's game and women's game. She is getting totally different treatment from her competitors. They are trying to stop her. They trying to embarrass her, whatever it may be. That is the level of competition she's getting. She needs to understand that. And she's going to have to compete, and it might be one time acting like you played football before, dropping that shoulder.
And if we go back to that Connecticut Sun incident, the one issue that we had was she walked away.
Walked away.
Like,
Walked away.
one time.
Do we have that on film? Thank you.
You got to.
And you got to stand up, man.
Now, I'm walking. No. We're going back.
Yeah.
We're going back. We're standing up.
We all done been in fights.
Man.
My first practice ever in the league, Ricky Minicamp got in a fight. It's exactly what you said. He held me. And I said, bro, don't hold me again. He cursed me out. We doing one-on-ones. This one-on-ones. He hold me again. I said, bro, what you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Start cursing me out again as soon as he took his helmet off. Boom, boom, boom. Rest of the season, nobody hold me.
Of course.
Made an example of him. Nobody hold me. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. Yep.
If you think I'm a punk, I'm going to show
And
you
the
I'm
craziest
not.
thing is, you don't even do it because you're a fighter.
Right.
You do it out of principle.
Right.
When I tell you I'm not a fighter, I'm not a fighter. But here's what I will do. I will set a principle.
Right.
I will set the record straight because the fact of the matter is, even fighters ain't gonna always want to fight. Coben, do we have the clip of Sophie Cunningham to juxtapose what Slicks did? And Slick, you talk, Coben. Let me know when it's ready because I want to draw a juxtaposition.
Is that her teammate?
That's her teammate.
Oh, yeah. You talking about under the basket.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the end of the game, fourth quarter. If Caitlin turns there, her team comes up behind her.
100%.
When she's walking away, that also makes an impression on your team.
Yes.
I don't
right?
want no
because,
problem.
Yes.
Because exactly. But if you turn, they're
And
right there.
Slick, like, sometimes if you act like a punk, they'll treat you like a punk.
Exactly.
So when Caitlin got poked in the eye and, what are you doing? And then old girl walked up on her. Old girl closed a space.
Yep.
The defender closed a space, and then Caitlin just retreated.
Yes.
There can't be no space closing. I think the clip is now here. Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin's teammate.
I like this.
Watch how she stands. She looks at her, waiting for her to get up.
Bring it.
Waiting
Bring
for her
it.
to get up.
Bring it.
She committed the foul, Cunningham did.
Yep.
She looks
Yep.
at her, waiting
Come on,
to get
let's
up, and
go.
then attacks
Yep.
and charges. And the fact of the matter is, you now know, oh, if I try Sophie, we're going to have
But not
problems.
only that, I think as a team, you need to understand that. I will never forget when we used to go play the Seattle Seahawks defenses, whether they come into Green Bay or we going to Seattle. We knew Richard Sherman and them was very, very slick. Whistle over, they'll smash you in the back and all that. And it's all on film, for real. They were a violent defense. And we as a team, when we played them, you already know what it is. We ride with each other. Let one of them cheap shots. It's finna go down.
Yeah.
As a team, you need to know that every single game with Caitlin Clark, something like that can happen. Hey, coach, I hear what you're saying. You got your hand on me on the bench. I'm off this bench, man. All right, we already done came together in this practice. It's about to go down.
Jay,
As a team, you need to know that.
Sometimes it only takes one time. That's like to your point, T.
And she has to be the one. She has to stand.
might have to
Everybody
get
can't
ejected.
stand up for her all the
Right.
time.
Right.
She has to
stand up for
stand
yourself
up for
eventually.
herself one time and let them know, like, all right, I got you. Like, I got you next possession.
Yep.
Like, do that again.
Because crazy thing is, once you do it once,
That's it.
that's all it takes. And you don't even it doesn't have to be authentic. It could be as inauthentic as possible. But once you do it once, that's all it takes.
Olden Polynice told me a story about Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Set a pick on Michael. Hard pick. Michael said, don't do that again. Olden Polynice set another hard pick on him. He got a fist in a bad place. Hope he never did it again. Sometimes you just got to take care of business.
That's it. That's it. Caitlin, excited to see how you grow and develop.
Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Aaron Rodgers getting ready for his first season, but also his final season. It's his first season with the Steelers, but it could be his last season in the NFL. He said that he's pretty sure, quote, that this is it. That's why we did a one-year deal. Bringing us on camera, I got my guy James Jones, I got my guy TJ. This is the facility. Shout out to y'all for watching. Hope y'all been having as much fun watching as we have been doing the show. Jay, Aaron Rodgers says this is his last year. Will it be a season to remember or a season to forget?
Oh, man. I'm going to say a season to remember because I was with my dude with his first start. And now this might be the last time he starts and putting on the uniform. I'm going to say a season to remember because I think he's going to play well. I don't know team success-wise and what that's going to look like, playoffs, Super Bowl, run in the playoffs. I don't know how that's going to look. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play some really good football in Pittsburgh. He played some good football last year. I think we will see some plays from Aaron Rodgers to where we like, good God, bruh is like that. And for me, that's a season to remember. Not a Super Bowl, not none of that. Walking off this field healthy and still seeing some of them plays from Aaron Rodgers that we have been seeing for his whole career. I think it'll be a season to remember in Pittsburgh.
Let me ask you a couple questions, James, to answer my question. How Tom Brady's last season end? What's the record?
Lost in the playoffs, what, 10-6? 10-7?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
8-9. Who did he lose in the playoffs to?
Dak Prescott.
Okay,
Cowboys.
good answer. How many yards he passed for?
In that season?
Yeah.
Shoot, I think he balled, right? No?
How many have he passed?
4,000?
4,600. Tom Brady's last season was a season to forget. Unless you do something iconic, your season's going to be a season to forget. That's Aaron Rodgers this season. And to say there's no shade, it's just I want Aaron Rodgers, and success for Aaron Rodgers to me, like I said, is to win a Super Bowl. But unless you do something iconic, Kobe Bryant, 60 points last game, something iconic, Ray Lewis, Super Bowl last game, Peyton Manning, Super Bowl last game, you don't remember these last games. Or last seasons. I don't remember Drew Brees' last season. I was having a conversation before the show with the avid Steelers fan. I did not remember that Ben Roethlisberger's last season ended losing to the Chiefs. Had no idea. I thought it ended losing to Baker Mayfield on the playoffs. No idea. Unless it's something iconic, I don't remember Phillip Rivers' last season. I don't even remember what he did. Dirk Nowitzki, Mavs fan. Dirk Nowitzki's my favorite player. I have no idea what his last season was like because it wasn't iconic. If Aaron Rodgers does not win a Super Bowl, if Aaron Rodgers does not set a Steelers franchise record in passing, if Aaron Rodgers does not throw for 5,000 yards or do something iconic, it's a season to forget. I still to this day have to ask people, hey, Joe Montana, what did he do his last couple years again? Oh, he went to the Chiefs, because I don't remember it. I don't think, unless Aaron Rodgers does something iconic, we'll even remember this last stint.
That's why it will be a season to forget. When we think of Aaron Rodgers, we're going to think of the Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to think of the
Pittsburgh. But you're going to think of that even if he wins a Super Bowl.
No, but we'll say, man, he won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, and he won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he won a Super Bowl, I might as well start playing the Powerball because I'm going to win the Powerball. That's how unlikely that is. When he went to the Jets, I was like, oh, the Jets going to be good. Then he tears his Achilles. That will be the only thing that I remember from Aaron Rodgers outside of playing with the Green Bay Packers is I anticipated the Jets having a great season and he gets hurt so early. Outside of that, it's the Green Bay Packer Aaron Rodgers I'm remember. No other team. The Steelers, we're going to forget that he played for the Steelers because that's how this season is going to go. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Don't take away from his greatness, but 100%, they're not winning the Super Bowl. So right there within itself, season to forget.
So let's say, because you asked me them questions, Acho. Let's say that he has a Peyton Manning season. His last year in
Denver Bronco?
Hold on.
Denver Bronco Peyton Manning?
Denver Bronco Peyton Manning. Last year, though, not 50 touchdowns. Last year to where he got benched.
Yeah.
What, he had like 9 touchdowns or
17
something?
picks.
Good God almighty. But won a championship. That's a season to remember?
You win a chip. You know that. You win a chip.
How?
You win a chip.
So
Because
you gonna tell me if Aaron Rodgers goes out here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I know how we
But
grade
when
Aaron
Peyton
Rodgers.
got back in there, what'd he do?
Hold on, it's different. Aaron Rodgers and Peyton, they get graded different now. So let's say Aaron Rodgers has 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, and the Pittsburgh Steelers win the championship. That's a season to remember for Aaron Rodgers.
If he comes back in and starts and wins it, yes. If his backup does, like Brock Osweiler, that's different. But remember, Peyton came back.
Peyton had like 50 yards.
That's true. But he came back and he won a Super Bowl. What would you rather? You know this. I'd rather Aaron Rodgers throw 9 touchdowns, 17 picks, and win a Super Bowl than throw for 28 touchdowns, 12 picks, go 9-8.
I don't think that's a season. That's a season to remember for the Steelers. That ain't no season to remember for Aaron Rodgers.
But somewhere along that point, along this journey, he's going to have made some throws. Or a throw
or two.
To, got us this win. You got us this first down that closed the game. You may not be the main reason you're winning, but you make some plays along the way where it's like, I remember that play. I remember this play. And although your performance isn't what you expect, he gonna have some plays that remember, which until we'll remember the season.
Aaron Rodgers, we're gonna remember a couple plays that he made.
If that happens, of course.
That's
what plays do you remember of Peyton Manning?
In that year?
Yes.
It was shocking
I just remember the chip. I remember him holding up the trophy. Because obviously that team was predicated on DeMarcus Ware, it was predicated on Von Miller.
That's
I just
all
remember
I'm saying.
the
Aaron
chip.
Rodgers is so physically he not gonna have, so it's hard to.
I know he's not
like
gonna
Peyton
have
Manning
that.
was barely throwing the ball. That's not Aaron Rodgers. It's completely different. Like Peyton Manning was
for
barely
me,
throwing.
Jay, it's like as good as Aaron Rodgers is, he's not playing. I don't know why he's playing. I'm not watching him play to go 9-8. I'm not watching him play to throw 27 touchdowns and 13 picks. I'm not watching him play to throw for 3,600 yards. That's not who Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so many of these artists now, I don't know if you see, this person goes back on tour. Boyz II Men, they go back out on tour. Casey and JoJo, all these different artists. And I'm like, that's not why we fell in love with y'all. Not to sound like that. Not Boyz II Men, these are just names that came to my head. But there's so many artists going through this nostalgia. I remember NSYNC and went back out on tour, and I'm like, I'm
not going to that.
It wasn't for this. Like, you should have just stayed back at the crib and let us listen to the CDs and the albums and stream on Apple Music for this. So, Aaron Rodgers, you're not going back out on tour. Not for that, Jay. Not for this. Please, no.
But all I'm saying is if these groups go back on tour, what, do you have a favorite group growing up or something?
Just say Boyz II Men.
Okay, let's say Boyz II Men. If Boyz II Men go back on tour, it's still gonna be some of them hits that Acho gonna bob his head to.
No doubt.
It's gonna be some of them hits.
But if they're out of tune.
If they're not gonna be out of tune. Aaron Rodgers ain't finna be out of tune throwing this ball. Boyz II Men gonna be on tune. All I'm saying.
You act like he didn't play last year. He wasn't in tune all of last year.
Team-wise, he wasn't.
But even Rodgers wasn't the first half of the season.
I agree.
You remember that.
I agree. But all I'm saying is if Super Bowl is, I ain't gonna say impossible. It's gonna be very hard for the Steelers to win a Super Bowl. A season to remember is if Aaron Rodgers gives us those moments, those Aaron Rodgers moments. That's all I'm saying.
Couple comeback wins.
Comeback wins, 2-minute drives. We seeing the man on the run and them type throws. I think that's going to be a season to remember to where we're going to be like, boy, Aaron Rodgers in the Pittsburgh Steelers, he retired, but boy.
If we are getting those moments, he ain't retiring.
That might be true, but what I'm saying is I think that is more realistic than y'all sitting here saying.
Nah,
a Peyton Manning Super Bowl.